Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. Now, in this particular video, we are solving the specimen paper B. So let me highlight this. And yes, it's a paper one. The time duration is 2 hours, but it's a walkthrough video. So we will hardly finish it in 30 minutes or something. So let's get started. The first thing, calculators are not allowed. Now, question number 1. The question says, write down the number of lines of symmetry of a kite. You can write it from memory, only one line of symmetry. Or you can simply write 1 over here. The second part, write down the order of rotational symmetry of a parallelogram. So in a parallelogram, the order of rotational symmetry is 2. The next question, that is about the order of operation. So this is multiplication, this is addition. First we will multiply, then we will add. This is the answer. The next part, that is about multiplication. I prefer to do it in fractions. So 0.03 is 3 over 100. This is 5 over 100. 5 into 3 is 15. And there are 4 zeros in the denominator. I can leave it as it is. I can convert it into decimals. Now, this was an interesting question. It says the median is 7. The information is about 5 positive integers. The median is 7. So let me put 7 in the middle. The mode is 13. Now, mode is the most occurring value. I don't know how many times it occurs, but the minimum that it should occur should be twice. And then it says the range is 10. The difference between the highest and the lowest value is 10. So 13 minus 10 gives me 3. Now, let's add it up. 13 plus 13 plus 7 plus 3. How much is that? 26 plus 10. That is 36. So what is left? 4. So therefore, the missing value is 4. And don't forget to write it over here. So that is 3, 4, 7, 13, 13. That's the answer. Question number 4. A basic question about some parallel lines, perpendicular. It's not there. It's basically parallel. So this line and this line and this line, these 3 are parallel lines. And then what I can see is that these 2 are also parallel. And these 3 angles are adding up to 360 degrees. So the first thing, I'll go to the bottom in a moment. Let me first work it out. This one and this one should be the same corresponding angles. These 2 add up to 180. They are interior angles. All the angles at this point add up to 360. Now, after I have seen the diagram thoroughly, let's look at this. The diagram shows a parallelogram and a trapezium. The parallelogram and trapezium are joined along a common side. ABC is a straight line, whereas ABC, that is this thing. ABC is a straight line. Find the value of x. Give a geometrical reason for your answer. X is 100 because corresponding angles. Find the value of y. Y is 80 because of interior angle. That's the calculation. Find the value of z, even though they have not asked for the geometrical reason. So still let me write it down. Angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. So that is the logic. So there are 3 y terms. So 3 into 80, 240, 360 minus 240, that is 120. Question number 5. Convert 600 grams into kilograms. So 600 divided by 1000, that is 0.6 kg. Convert 5.7 liters into centimeter cube. 1 liter is 1000. Therefore, 5.7 is 5.7 into 1000. That is the answer. Question number 6. Write these numbers in order starting with the smallest. 3 over 20, I wrote this thing as 15 over 100. And then over here, 0.143 is already in decimal. 16% is 16 over 100. That is 0.16. 1 over 6, that is 0.1666. So such fractions, just do remember it, because they're not asking for the reasoning. They just are asking for putting them in ascending order. So the smallest one is which one? That is 0.143. The second smallest is 15 over 100. Don't write 15 over 100. That is for our convenience. Write the original thing, which is 3 over 20. The next one is 16%, which is 0.16. Again, don't write 0.16, write 16%. And last but not the least is this fraction 1 over 6, and that's how we write it. The next question about basic probability. Jude has a fair 8-sided spinner numbered 1 to 8. Fair, all the probabilities are equal. All these sector angles are equal. She spins once. Find the probability spinner lands on a number greater than 6. Number greater than 6 means 7 and 8. That is 2 out of 8. No need to reduce it. An odd number or a multiple of 3. So this is something like set notation A union B, where you take all without repetition. How many odd numbers do you see? I see 1, 3, 5, and 7. How many multiples of 3? 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. That's it. And when I write the union thing, so there is 1, 3 is already there, 5 is there, 7 is there, 6 is already has to be taken. So how many are there? That is 5 of them. Altogether, there is 6, but this one is the common one. So it is counted once. That is 5 over 8. Ratio, very simple question. Cancel off the zeros first. They all are multiples of 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Can't simplify further. Leave it as it is. Question number 9. The time that Rafiq works is divided into meeting, planning, and working on a computer. So there are 3 things that he's working on. The first one is a meeting. The second one is planning. The third one is working on a computer. Now, one day, Rafiq is in meeting for how much? 3/4 of the time. Then he is planning for 1/5 of the time. And last but not the least, he is working on a computer for the remaining 25% of the time. Work out the total time that Rafiq works that particular day. So we are looking for the total. Give your answer in hours and minutes. A beautiful question regarding conversion and fractions and ratios. So the first thing what I do is that let me take 3/4, let me take 1/5, add it up. That's 19 over 20. How much of the time remains in fraction? That is 1 over 20. That's over here. That's working on the computer. So therefore, 1 over 20 of the total time, let T be the total time. So 1/20th of the total time is 25 minutes. Therefore, T is 500 minutes. So 500 minutes, let me isolate 480 because that's a multiple of 60 because we know that 60 minutes is 1 hour. So 480 is 8 hours, 20 minutes is left. That's 8 hours and 20 minutes. Question number 10. These are first 5 terms of a sequence in, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25. So let me add something. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 4 is 17. Therefore, it's an AP, arithmetic sequence, also known as a linear sequence. So we apply the formula Tn is A plus n minus 1 into D. A is the first term, which is 9. D is 13 minus 9 or 17 minus 13 or 21 minus 17 or 25 minus 21. So that is 4. Just apply the formula, you get this answer. For more detailed version, now let me tell those people who are having a little bit issue with all these things. So let me just draw a box over here. That means, first of all, there are difficult things such as number patterns, which is also known as sequences. And some people, they have an issue with vectors. Some people will have an issue with transformation. And there is a big question of transformation coming this way. So just go out, check out the playlist on my channel, and you will find a comprehensive solution to this. Now we have the kth term of the sequence is 89. So basically, there is a term, you keep on going and you come across 89, find the value of k. So the nth term is 4n plus 5. Similarly, kth term can be written as 4k plus 5. Equated to 89, solve, k comes out to be 21. That's the answer right over here. Now, another probability question. Asha has a bag containing 6 red and 4 green counters. She takes 2 counters from the bag at random without replacement. Now, it says, hold for a second, why is it not working? So maybe the charging is finished. Let me just charge it. So now it says complete the tree diagram. So first of all, look at the denominator. That is 10 and 10 because 6 plus 4 adds up to 10. That's the first thing. This is without replacement. And then this 10 over here becomes 9 all along because one of them has been taken out. This is for the first counter. This is the second counter. And then red is 6 initially, green is 4 initially, red in front of red, 6 reduces to 5, 4 reduces to 3. This 6 is the same as before, this 4 is the same as before. And then these are the different options. I have a habit of writing it. So this is red, red, and this is red, green. This is green, red. This is green, green. So the last one is green, green. So now work out the probability. Asha takes 2 green counters. That's green, green. So 10 and 9, that is 90. And 4 and 3, that is 12. So this is 90. This is 12. No need to reduce because the examiner has not asked for it. Very simple question. Question number 12. Now it's about algebra. Expand. Multiply, multiply. You get this thing. Factorize. A squared minus B squared. Let me write the logic. A squared minus B squared. That is A plus B. A minus B. This is known as difference of two squares. Very important. So x squared is basically x squared, and this is 19 squared. X plus 19, x minus 19. Write it over here. And then this part and this part, they are both falling under the category of B. So therefore, they are linked. Keep that in mind. So therefore, 81 square minus 19 square, replace x with 81. You have already factorized it. 81 plus 19, 100. 81 minus 19, 62. This answer is 6200. This one is the new type of questions that are coming down nowadays. So in which they will themselves give a formula, something like this. They have given us a formula that pressure is forced upon area and pressure is measured in newtons per centimeter square. So it says a force of 196 Newton is applied to a square surface of side 4.9. So the side is 4.9. You have to convert it into area. So this is a question of estimation also. By writing each number correct to 1SF, work out an estimate of the pressure. So 196 becomes 200, 4.9 becomes 5, area of square, that is 5 into 5, which is 25. And this is how much? This is newtons. This is centimeter square. This is centimeter. So the pressure is force over area. Let me write it over here. The force is 200 and the area is 25. And this comes out to be 8. And I think by mistake, I've written 40. So let me correct myself. That comes out to be 8. Question 14. Faria records how many minutes she takes to complete a crossword each day. On Tuesday, she takes 10% less time than on Monday. So let the time taken on Monday be T. Therefore, on Tuesday, T minus 10% of T, that is 0.9 times the original. On Wednesday, she takes 50% less time than on Tuesday. So the Tuesday time minus 50% of 0.9, that comes out to be 0.45 T. On Wednesday, she takes 9 minutes. That means 0.45 T is 9 minutes. Simple problem. Therefore, this comes out to be 20. That is the time taken for crossword on Monday. This again is something new. That is recurring decimals. So this is the new thing in the syllabus. And write 0.312 as a fraction. Now this 1, 2, 1, 2 will keep on repeating itself. So we start with this thing. Let x is equals to 0.3121212. 10x is 3.121212. Now, if I do the subtraction, it won't be possible because these two are not the same. We want the simplest form. 100x is 31.212121, not working out. 1000x, 312.121212. Now this thing and this thing is exactly the same. So this time we are playing with 10x and 1000x. The difference is 990x. That is 312 minus 3, which is 309. So x is 309 over 990. Since it says work out the answer in the simplest form, that is why you have to divide and give the answer as it is. In the previous probability questions, they were not asking us to simplify, so we won't. Do whatever is required, not more, not less. This is transformation. This is triangle A. This is triangle B. The first thing, on a grid, draw the image of triangle A after reflection in the line y is equals to x plus 2. So first thing first, I drew the line y is equals to x plus 2. And how do you draw the reflection? Just by basic vision. That means this thing is like perpendicularly half unit away, diagonally like this. So it should be half unit away like this. So we took care of this point. Similarly, over here, 1 unit diagonally and then half unit diagonally and then 1. So that's how this another thing is created. And the third one, what you can do is that for the third one, just look at this. This was this is this. Now we are extending a line like this. So we should extend a line like this. So that's how this line is created. That is the answer of the first part. So this is A part 1. Just write it inside. This is A part 1. And it looks like a reflection also. Even if you do something wrong, I mean, you can always look at the solution, look at this mirror line, get a feel of it, that will it overlap like this? Yes, it's overlapping. Basically, this line is the perpendicular bisector. Now it says triangle A after an enlargement by scale factor 3/2 with center 1, 0. So this is the center 1, 0. And we want to enlarge it 1.5 times. That means if this is 2 units, it should become 3 because 2 into 1.5 becomes 3. So the first thing first, let me draw this thing. So this is like this. That's the first line. The second one, this is of 3 units. So 3 into 1.5 is 4.5. That is why I'm stopping from this all the way over here. So the second line goes like this. And the third line is just simple joining like this. And that's how this figure is created. So this is A part 2. So this whole thing is A part 2. It's a good idea because they're not asking for the vertices. But if they do, this is 1, 0. This is 5.50. This one is 1, 3. Over here, this is 0, 3. This is minus 2, 3. This is minus 2, 6. Because when you look at the mark scheme, they have given the vertices for checking. Now, this third part, now this one was difficult. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. First of all, you get a feel of this. That is, when we have this thing, the height is 2 units, the base is 3. It is definitely a rotation. The height became the base. And this base of 3 units becomes the height of 3 units. So we know that, yes, it's a rotation. But if I look at the point, for example, 1, 2, AB should become BA, and the sign of the y coordinate changes. So therefore, 1, 2 should be becoming what? That should be 2 and negative 1. But this is not 2 and negative 1. It is kind of shifted. So now that means the center of rotation is not the origin. So now there is one way in which people do. What is that way? That is they join corresponding points. For example, A to A prime, and then B to B prime, and then draw a perpendicular bisector, draw a perpendicular bisectors where the bisectors meet. That is the center of rotation. That's one way. Now, for those people, I have created this unique way without drawing. That is, let the center of rotation be A, B. And from this coordinate, let's say this one, 1, 2. Let me take this as a sample thing. From 1, 2, subtract the center of rotation. It's written like this. Apply the relevant matrix, that is 90-degree clockwise rotation. So what happens? XY becomes Y minus X. So the coordinates will flip. This coordinate will go over here. This coordinate will go over here. But this coordinate will change sign. So let me write over here. It will change sign. And then whatever you have subtracted, you should add it back. And this should correspond to this particular point. So let me highlight over here. This point should correspond to this particular point. That's how the diagram is formed. And then you get 2 equations, one for X coordinate, one for Y coordinate, and then you solve it simultaneously. You get A is -2, B is 1. So this is -2, 1. That is the answer. And yes, it's worth 3 marks. So yes, there is some extra strong working needed. Now it's your choice. Some people prefer a tracing paper. Some people prefer a compass. Some people prefer a calculation. I personally prefer a calculation. Question number 17. Now it says the diagram shows the sector of a circle of radius 6. The area of the sector is 15 pi. Work out the perimeter of the sector. Now let me just check one thing, that the thing is all good, all clear. So now the area of the sector is this much. Work out the perimeter of the sector. Now the perimeter of the sector, that should be the radius plus the arc length. And before that, the area of the sector we apply because we need to find the angle. So 15 pi is theta over 360 into pi r squared. Theta comes out to be 150. Plug that in the arc length formula. S comes out to be 5 pi. Paper 1, work out in terms of pi. So now the radius plus the arc length, that is 6 plus 5 pi, that is 12 plus 5 pi. That is the working. The second part, the sector is the cross section of a prism of length 10. Work out, giving your answer in terms of pi, the volume. So now let's say the prism goes like this. So you have to visualize a bit. And then a cross-sectional area into length, 15 into 10, that is 150 pi. That's only for 1 mark. This one is for 3 mark. The total surface area of the prism. Now, if I draw a small, what you call a circle over here. So let me just draw this, a small circle. Let me first draw and then copy paste. So I think that would do the job. And let me draw a few lines over here. And let me draw the circle once again. So it's just a rough drawing for my use, something like this. So now we have not the whole circle, we have part of the circle. So let's say the shape is like this. So like this. And this thing is there. So now there is this curved length multiplied by this thing that will give me the curved surface area. And then there is the top area. Similarly, there is the bottom area. Just focus on the shaded part. The top, the bottom. And then there is curved. And don't forget 2 other things. That is this length multiplied with height. And this length multiplied with height. That is what you should remember. So first of all, curved surface area of a prism, that is arc length into length, that is 50 pi. Top area was already given. Bottom area is already the same, that is 15 pi. So 15 plus 15 plus 50, that is 80 pi. And what you should not forget, that is 2 rectangular side walls, 2 for 2 of them, 6 is this thing. That is right over here. That is a line like this, and then multiply it with 10. So 2 into 6 into 10 is 120. Therefore, that's the total surface area. Question number 18. It says, write this thing in the completed square form. Make sure the coefficient of x square is 1. X square minus 8x. Push the constant to the sidelines. First add, then subtract square of half the coefficient of x. Rewrite the first 3 terms as a perfect square. Simplify the rest. Compare it with a x minus h whole square plus k. So therefore, a is 1, minus h is minus 4, h is 4, k is -6. So therefore, h comma k is the coordinate of the turning point. And if a is positive, the shape of the graph is like this. Sketch the graph. Label the coordinates of the turning point. So x is positive, y is negative. That's the turning point where the graph cuts the y-axis. X coordinate is 0. That is the y-intercept. So let me also write y-intercept. That is 0, 10. And the turning point is 4, -6. That is how this thing is done. Now it says rationalize the denominator and simplify. So whatever is written over here, the negative sign should be converted to a positive. So there is a negative sign over here. Therefore, there should be positive, positive. And yes, there is a video on rationalization also, just like recurring decimals. So a squared minus b squared, that is a plus b, a minus b. So this is a minus b, a plus b, that's a squared minus b squared, which is -4. 8 over -4 is -2, and this thing remains as it is. That is the answer over here. Question number 20. In this question, all lengths are given in centimeter. Now, it looks like a vector question. It's not. It's a similarity question. And they are saying triangle ABC is similar to ADE. ABC, the whole big triangle, is similar to this small triangle. These two are parallel sides, and then there are common angles, and there are these two angles common, these two angles common, and so on. But we are not out to prove it. We are out to use this for quadratics. So the ratio of red line to red line is the ratio of the small blue to the big blue. So 2x is to 10, written over here. X plus 5 is divided by x plus 5 plus 7.5, which is x plus 12.5. You get this quadratic equation. Factorize, middle term factorization. You get two answers. Over here, write both answers. But since x is a length, so you have to discard, because length cannot be negative. Length dimension cannot be negative. That is why we are discarding this. And then we are accepting x is 5 over 2. They're asking for AC. AC is x plus 12.5. 2.5 plus 12.5. That comes out to be 15. A beautifully nice question. Now, it's not over yet. The area of a triangle ABC is K. So this is also very conceptual. So this is very conceptual. The area of a triangle is K. Find an expression for the area of the quadrilateral. Give your answer in terms of K. So the ratio of the corresponding length, 2x is to 10, that is half. So the ratio of this length to this big length is 1 is to 2. The ratio of this small blue to the whole thing, it's 1 is to 2. Therefore, the ratio of small to big triangle should be 1 is to 2 whole square. That's a property of similar triangles. These two triangles are similar. Now the triangle, the area of ABC is K. So let me highlight this thing. So this K is the area of ABC. That is this thing. That is this K. So area of small triangle is 1/4 K. Now the whole thing over here, this thing is K. This is 1/4 K. How much is left? 3/4 K. As simple as this. That is the answer right over here. Question 21. Slightly tricky, but just play around with your pencil. In the diagram, in the Venn diagram, shade the region P, union Q, complement, union R complement. What is the way that I started? I looked at Q. I marked all the Q complement. So this is Q. Q complement is 1, 2, 3, and 4 regions. Similarly, I marked R complement. This whole thing is R. So R complement is the blue region, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I take the union, they take all without repetition. So this is take written over here. Let me write it properly. So this is take all without repetition. So basically, the union is everything that you see. That is the blue and the red. So red, 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 blue, 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 blue. That is the union. Now union it with P. So now if I unionize with P, you would take the previous one as well as this one. So P is the purple one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now this region, this region, this region, this, everything is shaded except for this. Shade whatever is visible in the sense with marks. That means there should be the blue mark, there should be the red mark, there should be the purple mark. So you have to shade everything that's visible. Now I'll go ahead and shade this. So therefore, let me shade this. So this and this and this, everything is shaded like this. This is also shaded. This is also shaded. And this outside is also shaded. Okay. So now it's everything except for this thing right over here. So except for this thing, which I'll highlight, this thing is unshaded. Everything else is shaded. So this thing is also done. Now, this is also new syllabus. multiplying out three brackets, the three bracket multiplication problem. And yes, cubic is also there, which is very important. Expand and simplify. So what I do is that I first take two brackets. So let me take these two and multiply. So over here, there is x. Let me make it thicker. There is x. There is 1. There is this thing, the green one. And then there is the orange one. So just multiply it out. So first of all, the red with the green, that is this. The red with the orange, that is this. The blue with this green, that is this. The blue with the orange, that's this. And then simplify, and you get this. Once you get the simplified version, then multiply it out with these two. So multiply out with this and multiply out with this. So now 2x into minus 3x squared minus 6x cubed. 2x into minus x, negative 2x squared. 2x into 2, positive 4x. So I have a habit of writing vertically so that the like terms are on top of each other. Negative 3 into negative 3, that is positive 9x squared. Negative 3 into negative x, that is positive 3x. Negative 3 into positive 2, negative 6. So therefore, this is what you're getting, and then you get this answer. Now, rearrange the formula to make P the subject. Very simple. The first thing is cross multiply. So first of all, we have this D. First of all, we have this thing. So multiply these two. So that's a combination of this and this. That's the first thing. The green thing is on the sidelines over here. And then collect the terms together. Which terms? The ones with P in it and the one with P in it. Take common, divide, and that is the answer that you are getting. Have a good look at it. And then question 24, it's about indices. Many things inside a bracket raised to power of 0 is 1. Over here, you need to simplify first. Otherwise, you cannot work it out. 3 and 27, write 27 as 3 cube. And then you apply this knowledge. A, B raised to power of m, that is A power m, B power m. That is applied over here. So this 27 is 3 cube. And this power is applicable. This m6 is m6, and then this power is applicable. That is how we are multiplying it. And then you get this answer. Over here, if the bases are the same, the powers should equal. So this 32 is 2 power 5. 2 power x plus 3, that's 2 power x into 2 power 3. 1 over 4 is 1 over 2 squared, and then I took it up. So now add up all the powers. This is already my negative 2 over here. So now equate the powers. So therefore, x comes out to be negative 5 over 6. Question 25, nice question. The question is about this thing. The diagram shows a cuboid with a square base. So this is 5, this is 5, it's written over there. Length of the diagonal AB is 15, that's right over here. Work out the height of the cuboid, give your answer as a surd in its simplest form. This is 5, this is 5, this is h is root 50. Leave it as it is for right now. So this is step number 1. Step number 1, that is the square base. And what are we applying? We are applying Pythagoras theorem. Then look at this thing. This is 15. This forms the base. This is the height. So now the triangle is right over here. This is step number 2. That is applying another application of Pythagoras once more. And then 15 square is root 50 square. So there was no need of writing as a surd over there. This is perfectly fine because the square root disappears. And now h square is 175. 175 is 25 into 7. So that is this thing. Again, the application ab raised to power of half. That's a power half, b power half. Square root of 25 is 5 and root 7 remains as it is. So let me highlight this. That is 25. That's root 25. That is 5. And this is 7. Root 7 remains as it is. And that is the answer for this particular question. And that completes this particular paper. Stay tuned for more content on Mathematics with Shahabyaku.